to talk to you guys today about the Ergo and the Tula baby carriers and what the differences are between them. They are both soft baby carriers that can go from newborn with an insert all the way up through being a toddler. And they have some pretty unique differences and similarities that need to be brought to your attention before you actually shell out the amount of money that these guys are worth. I know that they can be expensive, and it's hard a lot of times for people to go and try them on because I don't even know if Tulas are sold at brick and mortar stores. I know that they're all over online, and so are the Ergos, but I had the chance to go try them on when I first started using them. And I think that made a big difference for me in the decisions that I made based on what my baby liked and what felt good on my body. That being said, we don't have that ability to do that all the time, depending on where you live. And so I want to give you as much information as I can so that you can make an informed decision going forward and buying a baby carrier that will work best for you and your baby. So I have 5 children. I've worn them all through birth, through being a toddler. I've used every single kind of baby wearing apparatus that's been on the market, from slings, ring slings, wraps. I've made my own, and now here I am with a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I wanted to give you guys a little bit of information on how these work for me and my 1-year-old currently. Now, I want to kind of start by saying I love them both. Okay, and I will kind of give you some reasoning as to what sets them apart from each other and what makes them very similar, but they're both really great carriers. Honestly, I don't think that you would be disappointed with either one. So go into this knowing that you know, there's a reason why they're both so popular. So my first soft baby carrier was an Ergobaby. And it was the original, and I have to say I loved it. I never felt any sort of discomfort or issues with it. There was really nothing that I wanted to change about it. That says a lot, right? And that's going through, you know, three babies. Tula, which I had never heard of before. I saw all this hype about them and everyone was talking about how wonderful they were. I really wanted to see what the difference was between them. When I got the Tula in, you know, first of all, the first thing that I noticed about them is that you get a lot more options in colors and designs. And I think that was one of the things that made Tula so popular for a while, is that they use some really cute fabrics that you could collect and resell, and they were limited editions, some of them. That was really smart on their part. Ergobaby doesn't really have a lot of, especially in the original make of it. You know, you have some solid colors, you have some prints that are kind of hard to find. You have some that have stars on them. You have the regular, and then this is the organic, and the organic is I think they all come in solid colors. This is the solid black. With Tula, you have a lot of different designs. This is I believe it's pronounced Shenandoah. You have options of, you know, whether you have the fabric on the shoulder straps and on the bottom part, even fabric on the back that has a design on it. They have different names, like the full has fabric design everywhere, the half has it only on the front. There's different, you know, options that you have with these that you don't have with the Ergobaby. Now, granted, that is purely aesthetic. So I would have to say the pros when it comes to the aesthetic appeal is that the Tula has great designs, they're super cute. The con is that it might not go with everything, so you might need a few different ones. With the Ergobaby, if you get something standard like the black, or I have also kind of the off-white taupe, those you can kind of go with everything. So that can be a pro and a con. You don't have a lot of choices. So that's from the aesthetic point of view. Another aesthetic point of view that kind of goes into functionality is the hood. The hood is different on the Tula in that it is snapped in. It comes right off like this. And you can take it off completely and just never use it. Now, whenever I need it, I never have it because I snap it off so that I can see the cute design on the front of it. When it's snapped on, it kind of covers the design, which is kind of what I paid for it. So you can see it kind of folds over, but then it's there when you need it. It doesn't have straps that make it easy when it's on your back to pull it up over. If you have someone there to help you, that's great. It snaps in with like a hook, a plastic hook, and this kind of stretchy string. So that's how that one goes on. With the Ergos, you have these straps that hold in the hood that you can just pull it out. So it's always on there. You don't have the option to take it off. It kind of rolls up into there and then you can use it. It also has the long straps that when it's on your back, you can kind of reach along and pull up. It also secures to the shoulder strap by a snap. So those are going to be the main differences with the hood part of it. It's always going to be with you on the Ergo. Some people don't like that, but you know what? It rolls up really nicely and it folds right back into the actual body of it. So you can't really see it, and it's always there if you need it. So that's definitely a plus. This is also part of an aesthetics thing, but I'll tell you what, there have been many times that I've been out with my Tula. I didn't have the hood and his head was kind of flopping around, and that was kind of a bummer. I never had that issue with the Ergo because it was there. Going into kind of in the same area, on the Tula, it has what I believe these are used for bringing the baby down for if you wanted to breastfeed while you were wearing the baby. So it kind of scrunches up the front part with the strap, and then if you want to breastfeed them, you loosen the strap, it lowers the baby, and then you can breastfeed them that way. You know, I don't think these are really useful, and I actually think they get in the way, and let me tell you why. With the Ergobaby, they don't have that. It's just a plain strap here, and it actually doesn't even have the cushioning in that part. So it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that nylon strap, it doesn't have the buckle, and it doesn't have cushioning. I would just loosen the side to let the baby down and nurse when I needed to. And I like that a lot better because when you're wearing the baby, this buckle and strap is right where their head is. And if they're turning to maybe just suck on that area or to lay their head there, it's uncomfortable. I really don't see any need to have that. And I know that you can buy extra things that go over and cover that. They're called like suck pads or something like that. And it kind of will buffer your baby's face from hitting here and from getting this all messy. I just don't see the need to have those there anyway, because you can just loosen the side straps to bring the baby down a little bit. And I actually find those really annoying. I actually think that they kind of mess up the look of the strap as well, because, and I'll show you on the white one so you can see better. Here are the shoulder straps. This just looks really busy. There's just a lot going on the Tula with the buckle and the strap there, and it looks so utility, you know. And on the Ergobaby, it's really clean. Also, because they don't have the padding there, it makes it a lot easier for the baby to lay its head down. Or if it's gonna suck on that, you know, your baby sucks on things, it happens. It's not all hard and thick, and it's something that it's a lot more comfortable for your child to lay their head on. So I definitely prefer the Ergobaby for that. I don't think that the utility of this strap is necessary, and I think it gets in the way quite a bit. Another big difference is kind of going along with the same lines of that is I feel like the Tula is more structured. A lot of people say that it feels more comfortable, like it gives more support, especially when your child is bigger. I could see that. I have worn it with my 3-year-old, both of them, to kind of test that out. The Tula feels heavier and sturdier in terms of the padding. The padding feels a lot thicker and almost more cushiony. I like that and I don't like that, because with the Ergobaby, it's kind of effortless to wear it. It's not as structured feeling, so it doesn't feel as utility. It feels like a piece of clothing. It feels very like it kind of melds into your body, and I don't mind wearing it because it's not big and bulky, and I don't feel the structure so much on it. With the Tula, I do, because of how structured and padded and the extra nylon and buckles, and it just feels so much more utility, and I'm aware of wearing it. I can see where that's a benefit, again, to help keep the baby more supported, give your back more support. I feel like maybe if I knew I was going to be out for a long period of time wearing the baby, a Tula would probably be what I would grab more often, because I feel like it might hold my back up a little bit better because of the extra support. But honestly, when my day-to-day, going for a walk, going to the grocery store, wearing my baby around the house when I'm doing chores, I don't ever notice any back strain, and I really don't even notice wearing the Ergobaby. So I feel like the Ergobaby is a little bit more effortless in its wearing, a little bit more comfortable for a short term, whereas the Tula, it feels like you are wearing a garment, but it probably gives you more support. If you compare the padding on it, they look visually very similar. They don't look like they really differ much, but you can feel the difference. The Tula is just stiffer. It's harder. It's like denser, whereas the Ergobaby seems to be a little bit more softer and have a little bit more give, but they both look about the same, both in the bottom part that goes around your waist and in the shoulder padding. They both, it says everywhere that I've read that the Ergobaby's shoulder padding is a little bit wider than the Tula, but honestly the Tulas feel bigger because of all the straps and the buckles, and that it's almost a thicker padding anyway. Again, I notice it more. From a structural standpoint, the Ergobaby has a shorter waistband. It doesn't go around as long, the padding part doesn't. And actually, I've even found a difference, and I'm holding them up to each other right now. The Ergobaby Organic is closer in length to the Tula, and the Ergobaby Original is shorter than that. So they actually are 3 different sizes. Honestly, I don't feel like that is a huge difference. If you have a larger size waist, then of course the extra padding going around might be a little bit more comfortable for you. I have a smaller waist, like 25-inch waist, and I find that I have the Tula set as tight as it can go with the strap, and the actual padding touches each other. So you know, maybe if you're really petite, then the Tula might be a little too big for you around the waist, or it might have to overlap. With the Ergobaby, I don't have that problem. Of course, you can lengthen the strap as long as you want, but it's about where the padding comes around your front or your back, depending on how you're wearing it. Also, the body, the part where the baby sits of the Tula is a bit larger than the Ergo. And again, the Ergo Original, not organic, is a little bit smaller than the Ergo Organic. They've made it a little bit larger for that one. But either way, the Tula is a bigger body. It comes up higher on the baby's back. Some babies like that and some don't. You can fold it down a bit if your baby doesn't really like it. Mine likes to hang its arm out, and so it really doesn't matter for mine. He just folds it down on the Tula anyway. So that is a big difference. Again, the padding on the shoulders and on the waist is just about the same, other than the length on the waist. A little bit wider shoulder padding in the Ergo, possibly. I mean, it's really hard to tell. People say that it is a little bit wider in some places. I think they're pretty much the same, honestly. Another difference that is interesting to note too, that might be a breaker for some people, is this area where the baby's leg comes out. On the Ergo, it is just really thinly padded like the rest of it. There's not an extra padding on it. On the Tula, you can see really well here that there's an actual extra padding area for the baby. That hasn't been a problem for me with the Ergo. I don't feel like it rubs or shows any sort of irritation. I often wear my babies in just onesies in the carriers, and I haven't seen any redness, or the baby doesn't seem uncomfortable with their legs. So I don't know if this is necessarily super important, but you know, obviously extra padding couldn't be a bad thing. So that is a difference there as well. Last structural difference that I want to note is the Ergo has this wonderful pocket that zips on the side on the front. So it zips here, and you have a whole bunch of space and a pocket to slip keys and things like that in without a zipper area. Now on the Tula, you do not have that. You have a small pocket that velcros right on the front here that opens. You could fit a credit card if you wanted to put a phone there. I don't like my phone that close to my baby, but if you wanted to, you could do that. Keys, there's really not much room there, but the pocket on the Ergo definitely beats out the pocket on the Tula. But you know, generally people are wearing a purse or something like that, so it's not a huge deal breaker there. One more thing to note is with the Ergobaby, you can do a side hold. So with the Tula, you have front and back only. With the Ergobaby Original, you have front, back, and then you can unsnap the sides here, which you do not have that option on the Tula. There is no snapping off. It's just a pull cord to make it tighter. So you can actually snap this part off, bring it through the elastic, and then put it through the other side to allow yourself to do a side carry. Now, if any of you want a tutorial on how to do the side carry, I'd be happy to show you that in another video. It's really easy. You just need to unsnap that and put it on the other side, but you don't have that option with the Tula. Okay, so in closing, something interesting to note is I believe Ergo acquired Tula not too long ago, maybe a year or two ago. So I do believe Ergo owns Tula. Now, I haven't seen any changes made. They're both very different in the differences that I brought to your attention, and nothing has changed. They're not turning into like a hybrid of the same carrier. You know, people like Tula and people like Ergo, and some people have both like me. But that leads me to a whole nother thing, is resale. So an Ergo can cost you anywhere from like $130 to $250, depending on whether it's organic or not, and the design and that kind of thing. They have Ergo 360s where you can wear them front facing. They have breathable Ergos. They have tons of different ones. So, you know, they differ in price there. The Tulas, you have the Tula that is standard, that goes up to, I believe, 45 or 46 pounds. And then you have the Tula that is toddler. Now, that's something that is interesting to note too. With the Ergo, you have one, and you can use it from newborn all the way through toddler. With the Tula, they make it a little bit wider for the toddler. So you would probably have to buy two to make it through having a toddler. So, you know, that's another thing to keep in mind. Now, they do have one that's called Free to Grow, I believe, and I think that is one that adjusts from newborn all the way through toddler. So maybe something to keep in mind if you're not dead set on a particular fabric, that you can, you know, go from buying two of them to satisfy from newborn through your toddler days, to buying one Free to Grow. But again, you're going to be more limited on your fabric colors. Because of the differences in fabric, the resale on these are very, very different. If you do not want to buy them new, and you don't have to buy them new, you can go on places like Poshmark, you can go on eBay. There are tons of these for sale in resale places, and you can get a really good deal. I'll have to say though, that if you are looking to buy, your cheapest option is to get an Ergo, because honestly, you can buy used Ergos that are in great shape for $25 to $40, easy. Tulas, not at all. Tulas hold their value very well. So if you want to invest in a new Tula and get your money out of it, let's say to trade it in for a Tula toddler or something like that, then if you want to shell out the money ahead of time for a new one and then take really good care of it and try to resell it, you will get the majority of your money back. You spend $140 on it, chances are you'll probably get about $100 to $120 back out of it when you sell it. With the Ergo, if you spend $140 on it, you'll probably get about $30 to $40 back on it. So the Tulas hold their value mainly because a lot of people like to buy and sell the different colors, and they get tired of one, and so it's kind of an interesting aftermarket type thing for Tulas that I don't understand. But you know, there are some that are $500 that are hand woven ones that really hold their value well too. And if you have the money to spend on those, then by all means, I'm sure they're beautiful. In closing, they're both wonderful. They really are both wonderful. If I had to pick one, I would pick an Ergo, because I feel more comfortable in it. I feel like it's more of a part of me when I'm wearing it. My baby seems to be more comfortable in it as well, although he likes anything I put him in as long as he's on me. They're cheaper when you buy them used, sometimes even cheaper when you buy them new. If you get one in a solid neutral color, then it will probably go with everything. The pocket's bigger. I really don't like this part right here, this breastfeeding strap. I just feel like it is just very uncomfortable for me and for my baby. I don't like that at all. And I don't feel like I'm lacking any support in the Ergo. Whereas, you know, I feel like the Tula really does give probably a little bit more support, but I don't feel like I really need it. So they're both wonderful. They're both really high quality carriers, and I think it comes down to what your preference is, what your preference in aesthetics is, because I feel like that is probably the biggest difference between the two. And what your baby likes. One thing you could do too, before you invest in a new one, if that is your ultimate goal, is, you know, maybe get on eBay and spend $20 or $30 on an Ergo that's used. Try it out, see how you like it, see how the baby likes it. If you don't, then you can turn around and resell it for pretty much what you bought it for, and then invest the money in either a new or used Tula and see if that does better for you. So I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. If you do want me to make a video on how to do a side carry in an Ergo, let me know that too in the comments below, and I would be happy to demonstrate that. So either way, I applaud you for wanting to wear your baby. I think it is just a wonderful practice for both you and the baby, and I don't think you'll be disappointed with either one of these. So thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you next time.